something? Oh, fuck. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. And I'm glad you know that it's the Weirdo Show. Hope you're ready for acts you've never seen before. Cause it's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. Coming across for everyone to view on how I do what I do. See the old to the new in the Weirdo Show. Yeah. This is the Weirdo Show. Let's get it. It is your girl Weirdo coming at you with this YouTube channel. Alright? The Weirdo Show. It's been a busy day. But nonetheless, I decided that I figured might as well decipher these lyrics up for you guys. So here we are. We're gonna go on our journey. On our journey. Oh my god! So this is where the magic happens. In this shit. In this shit. I'm kidding. I love my room. I do. So definitely, I wanted to get into deciphering the lyrics for Talk Is Cheap. So that's what we're gonna get into today. I hope you guys like it. So let's get started. Let's get it. Life's a pretty penny that will snatch up from your penny loafers. Fuck around and get your head split like a 3-leaf clover. Call me lucky, rolled up 3 6s. Now my demons watching over me to steal my winning pick with a bunch of pricks. So, life's a pretty penny that will snatch up from your penny loafers. Fuck around and get your head split like a 3-leaf clover. Call me lucky, rolled up 3 6s. Now my demons watching over me to steal my winning pick with a bunch of pricks. So with Talk Is Cheap, I was going through a lot last year. I really was. I lost friends that I felt were close to me. I lost people that I truly loved by death and even just by loss, like heartbreak. Not a lot of people know that I even, this is really personal, but I really had gotten some help mentally wise as far as depression and anxiety. I know a lot of people don't know that I suffer with Asperger's syndrome. I'm really on the low end of the spectrum. So it's like, it's really hard to, see that. But I do suffer with anxiety. I do suffer with depression, and a lot of stuff was going on during that time that was really, peaking that up again. And I think people need to know that it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. The truth of the matter is that when you're sad, you're sad. Money doesn't make that better. It doesn't. And that's from someone, I'm not saying that I was rich, but I worked my ass off in life to know that it's like, it doesn't matter how much money you get, whether you get a good amount where you can live really well or at least decently, or you don't have much money at all. The truth is that your happiness is your own. Now, anyways, on to the lyrics. I'm sorry. So with life's a pretty penny. Life's a pretty penny that was snatched up from your penny loafers. For that verse, I don't know. When I got into getting that verse started, it was really like, oh man, I was trying to see something that was catchy, and for some reason I was thinking about penny loafers. So I was like, oh man. And, with everything that was going on, I was like, man, life is such a bitch sometimes, or I'm sorry, life is such a sometimes. And it made me realize that with Talk Is Cheap, I wanted to find something that was kind of, catchy, but at the same time, still also, definitely, you know, talked about luck. Like, I felt like, you know, at the time I was, I had even gone from what I believed in, you know, and my beliefs, and to figure out what I did believe in. And I don't think that necessarily helped me all too much too. I think I went about certain things negatively as well during that time, but with so much that was happening, I could understand it. But yeah, life's a pretty penny that was snatched from your penny loafers. I wanted that to be catchy. I wanted, you know, like your first line has to catch people's attention. And so I wanted it to catch people's attention. And so I was like, well, why not start off with how life has been treating me, you know? And I thought about penny loafers, and that's what it came down to. Life's a pretty penny that was snatched from penny loafers. And I was just like, well, I can't just end luck like that. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to keep talking about luck during the song. So I was like, life's a pretty penny that was snatched from penny loafers. And then I was like, fuck around and get your head split like a 3-leaf clover. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was really cool because, I mean, like, 3-leaf clover is, a lot of people consider that, you know, when you pick a 4-leaf clover to be lucky. So I probably should have put 4-leaf clover. But I put 3-leaf clover. I don't care. Still sounds dope. Call me lucky, rolled up 3 6s. Now my demon's watching over me. Still my winning pick. So it's like, you know, you ever have that feeling where you feel like you're winning in life, and then like life just comes and it's just like, nah, I'm gonna knock you down. And that's pretty much like what I was thinking about. You know, it's just like, life has been treating me, you know, pretty crappy this whole year, which I necessarily didn't help it either, you know, because again, I feel like we all have control over our lives and the choices that we make. But I know that also certain things are out of our hands, and that's just life in general. But that's what I was thinking when I made those lyrics. I was like, I wanted it to do with luck. I wanted to draw people in. I wanted to say something real. And I also wanted it to, of course, rhyme, because it's a rap. And so that's what I was thinking of when I thought of that. And then, you know, demons watching over me, still might want to pick. What a bunch of pricks. So I was like, kind of being funny with that. Like, oh man, life is being such an asshole, but it's like, whatever. You know, and that's what gets me into the second verse. I ain't never had luck before. Everything I had was broken. I worked hard to restore the shit. The shits and giggles cleaned it up with someone's bitch noise. I colossally expanded everything I worked for. The talk is cheap. So when I came into that after What a Bunch of Pricks, I was like, and I ain't never had luck before. So I started talking about how I grew up. I was just like, I really was in a negative state of mind. And I was just like, I was thinking about how I grew up, and me growing up, life was not necessarily always great. You know, when you grow up and you don't have a lot of money, it sucks. You know, and I've been in a lot of predicaments that a lot of people don't know about that were really crappy. And just thinking about that, when you allow the negativity to overflow and fill your mind, it really changes how you maneuver and move. And the fact that I even was able to make the song out of my own negativity was really saying a lot. Maybe it's saying that I still had a little hope. I don't know. But at the time, I felt like I was really lost on hope. Like, hope is just screwing me. I was just thinking about everything, you know, growing up poor, never really having enough money, never really having enough food, always getting to that point where, like, you know, like you don't really have what you need, but you're still going to make it. But just sometimes, like, there were times where we wouldn't even get Christmas presents. There were times where I didn't even have birthday presents. You know, there was just times where we really had hard times where we were kicked out of homes or close to being kicked out of homes, loss of cars, just really struggling as far as financially wise to constantly, you know, and my mother, God bless her, which she's still alive, but still, just going through that on your own for so long. And then my stepfather, though I love him, you know, we had our, you know, we just had our own struggles and bouts with my stepfather, and even with my own dad. Like, you know, I won't lie and say that I didn't have any troubles. Um, but thinking along all the things that did happen in my life, and thinking along all the stuff that I had gone through, really was what brought that. Like, and I never had luck before. Everything I had was broken. I worked hard to restore. The shit for shits and giggles cleaned it up with someone's bitch noise. I colossally expanded everything I worked for, but talk is cheap. So it's like, this isn't just really a song for everyone else. This is also a song for me. Because for me, it's like, I'm that type of person. Like, I have dreams, and I have big dreams. And even before I wanted to be a musician, I still had big dreams and big goals. You know, but as far as going about that, having the motivation, having the determination, having that drive for hard work that ultimately brings you, hopefully, to success. And just going about that, you know, now that I'm working hard, like, I see that in the past, all I was doing was talking. You know, I wasn't really being about my business. I was letting people know, but I wasn't really being about my business. And you know, now that I have this drive as far as putting out my album and everything, it's just crazy to see how the drive that I didn't necessarily have, and the drive that I have now that I needed in order to finish this album. For not just everyone, but for myself too. For myself mainly, if anything. But this was just a message. This wasn't just a message to me. I wanted this to be a message to the world, because this is how I'm viewing the world. Even if though it's in a negative manner, this was how I was viewing the world. In a negative manner. Like, you know, I never had luck before. Everything I did have was broken. I had to work hard to restore. You know, going into the military so that I could get into college and not have to pay the expenses and be in a large amount of debt. Going through 4 years of being treated like I was undeserving, and treated like I was not intelligent. Always treated as though I wasn't good enough for society, and just life in general. And that really takes a toll on you when that's all you see, and all you deal with is negativity, people shouting and negativity at you. Always, you're surrounded constantly by negativity, and that's a lot to really go through. You know, being away from family already, but being in the military and going through that, and then also just dealing with that outside of the military, getting back into that spot again where I just shouldn't have been, honestly. But that's what I was talking about in that. Like, you know, I never had luck before. Everything I had was broken. I worked hard to restore. The shit for shits and giggles cleaned it up with someone's bitch noise. I just thought that was a really cool verse. I thought that was a really cool verse. And I wanted something that, you know, had a little bit of me into it. So a lot of times I like to, whenever I rhyme, I tend to like to use words and try to find different ways of rhyming, you know. But I thought that was dope. The shit for shits and giggles cleaned it up with someone's bitch noise. You know, so all my haters that were talking, all those that didn't think that I would make it, all those that didn't believe in me, and didn't see anything special or anything, well, I mean, are we all really special? But anyways, those that didn't see that drive in me, because they didn't, you know, they didn't really work hard for that drive to come out. And, you know, I just want to shut them up, pretty much. That's me telling them, shut up. So, yeah. But, on to the next verse, yeah. Oh, but, and also, I colossally expanded everything I worked for, but talk is cheap. So, it's like, yeah, I could say that I've been moving and I've been elevating, but still the talk is cheap. The drive isn't there. And the same goes for just the world. Like, everyone's talking about what they plan to do, what they want to do, all this stuff. We always talk about things, but we never. You ever notice how most of us never really make it to where we want to? You know? And we can blame it on a lot of things in the world because, the world has not been kind to everyone. But at the same time, you really do make up of what you know what I'm saying. It takes your hard work, it takes your drive, it takes your elevation to get to where you want to get. And if you don't put that out there in the world, then no one's gonna see it. You're right. No one's gonna see it. No one's gonna believe you, and they're gonna think that your talk is cheap. Why I made the song. All right, on to the next. When you look into my eyes, tell me, what do you see? You see me broken, see me bloody, see me crippled, diseased. The irony of all of these is that I one day die clean. But then again, the mind is such a fucked up place, I believe. If I had ever thought about life and its meaningless scenes, it seems I rip it all apart and choke on it for all means. My destiny is to work hard despite the crumbling seams of everything around me, disavowing life in its feet. Okay, we can begin. If you look into my eyes, tell me, what do you see? You see me broken, see me bloodied, see me crippled, diseased. The irony of all of these is that I one day die clean. With that one, I wanted to, of course, that one was a weird. It definitely was a weird verse. But the reason why I went as far as telling that verse is because a lot of times, again, people will try to knock you down. They'll try to knock you down. They'll try to say that you're not good enough, that you're not, that you're not going to be anything. And sometimes they won't necessarily say that. They'll make you feel that way too. Just by their actions and the way that they speak of you. Most times I'm not just reading what people are saying. It's already hard enough trying to figure out people's emotions and how they feel towards certain things. But I try at least to understand what people are, their actions instead of their words. Because a lot of times your actions speak louder than your words. And you could be saying one thing, but your feelings say a whole different thing. So going into that, of course, growing up, I had to learn that and understand that. But with that part, it was really just people knocking you down, people treating you like garbage, with all of that in the end, you know what I'm saying? When I leave this earth, it's not going to matter, pretty much. It's not going to matter. None of it is going to matter. None of it. No one's really going to care. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, at least when I die, I'll die clean. I'll die pretty much free of all of this. But I was like, but then again, the mind is such a fucked up place, I believe. So it's like, we don't ever really know what the future holds for us. And even though the stuff is behind us, it still can, I don't know, I still feel like it can always linger, so that's why I put that in there. And, yeah, that's why. If I had ever thought about life and its meaningless seems, I'd rip it up apart and choke on it for all means. So again, I'm really going from a nihilist perspective. Nothing matters. We're all just living our lives. Which, trying to be more than just the usual nihilist, the negative nihilist who thought, like that. Which I'm not a nihilist. Not anymore. But in practicing nihilism in the past, I've learned that that's what I was learning. Like if I had ever thought about life and as meaningless seems, and even like when you really look into Christianity and or other religions, you realize that, to be honest, I mean, from a religious perspective, without the higher being, there, you know what I'm saying, life is meaningless, and so that's why I wrote that. Like, if I really thought about life and its meaningless seems, like, when I think about it, it just made me really upset. like, especially at that time, thinking about life and how meaningless it all is, and that it's like, oh man, well, I'm doing this, but what is it really for? You know? And that really was something that I had to go through and deal with, you know, mentally and even spiritually. My destiny is to work hard despite the crumbling schemes of everything around me, disavowing life and its fiends. So with that, it's like, even though life is meaningless, I'm still going to I'm still going to keep going. I'm still going to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to tell myself. Like, keep going, keep moving. You know, steady striving for your goals. Despite what you find out, despite, you know what I'm saying? No matter what's going on or what you realize or what you believe in, fight, keep going, you know. Keep going for your goals. Keep going for what you want to accomplish. If what you're trying to accomplish is truly something special to you. Just needs to work hard despite the and yeah. So yeah. Seems like ripping apart and choking it for all means. My destiny is to work hard despite the crumbling schemes of everything around me, disavowing life and its fiends. So yeah. So even I'm gonna still keep going despite the coldness of the world, despite the evil that is around us all, despite it all, you know, because even in the chaos there's beauty. So that's where my mind was at. It was just like, I'm still gonna keep trying to go and keep, you know, even though life is meaningless, you know, at the time that's what I was thinking. So I was like, even though life is meaningless, I'm still going to pursue what I'm planning to do, even despite the coldness of the world, despite life's bitchy ways at times, despite it all. I was gonna still keep going. It seems I rip it all apart and choke on it for all means. My destiny is to work hard despite the crumbling schemes of everything around me, disavowing life and its feast. A fickle, fainted, tainted hatred with its whistles and gleams. I joke about it, but it's serious, pain like growing teeth. And while the world sits on its ass for destruction with glee, while the people talk with large mouths like they're ready to scream, while the chaos grows but no one knows what all of it means. See, they're trying to live their best life, say they're helping little beings. I look around at their disguise and think about how they been. Say be about it, don't you shout it, cause to me talking cheap. A fickle, fainted, tainted hatred with its whistles and gleams. I joke about it, but it's serious, pain like growing teeth. And while the world sits on its asses for destruction with glee, while the people talk with large mouths like they're ready to scream, while the chaos grows but no one knows what all of it means. See, they're trying to live their best life, so they're helping little beings. I look around at their disguise and think about how they been. Say be about it, don't just shout it, cause to me talk is cheap. Just have that creepy little smile. Like, imagine having someone having a, you know what I'm saying? It's weird and creepy. But a fickle, fainted, tainted hatred with its whistles and gleams. That one, I wanted, like I said, I definitely play around with my rhyme scheme, and I love doing that. It's something that that I really like messing with. I like messing with sounds and you know, sometimes even saying certain words with the same letter. I'll just, you know what I'm saying? I'll try to do that in between. Which I've done it before in past freestyles. I have. If you like look at my old freestyles, you'll see that I sometimes would try to experiment as far as that. But a fickle, fainted, tainted hatred with its whistles and gleams. So it's like, you know, just thinking about the liars of the world, people who really that you may look to, that you may think care about you and really don't. You know, and that I feel like the world is very tainted, you know, and I think that at times, yes, there are positive things and there are great things in there, but I also think that the majority of the world can be pretty cold hearted. And sometimes it tries to hide. I feel like it tries to horribly hide its hatred from the world, you know, by giving us whistles and gleams. which is why a fickle, fainted, tainted hatred with its whistles and gleams. You know what I'm saying? It tries to hide, like, it tries to throw all the problems that we have under the rug. We're going to shove them under the rug, screw it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like, no. Like we all see what's happening right in front of us. You can't hide that from us. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, like the liars of the leaders who lie to us, who act like they really care for us when they don't. They're so fickle, and they faint. From they faint from all from the hatred of the world when they're the ones that really help bring that hatred of into the world. Their uncaring feelings, their sociopathic tendencies. Just seeing it from my perspective, I just see, man, these people really don't care about us. And it shows. And especially as a black woman, it shows. It's not really something hidden. I feel like even someone with Asperger's and probably a higher range than me, or higher end on the spectrum than me, could probably figure that out. You know what I'm saying? But I joke about it, but it's serious pain like growing teeth. So it's like with all these lies, with all these people out here, with all these fake leaders who care for us, you know what I'm saying, and faint at the sight of the cold world, and there's no negativity really spewing around. We're here to bring love. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see through it. And I just joke about it because there's nothing that you can do. And in the black community, whenever we have problems, we joke about them. But the truth is that they're not funny. They're not funny at all. And it's getting less and less funny as time is moving on. And it's grown annoying. That's why I was like, I joke about it, but it's serious. Pain like growing teeth. Because the truth is that it's annoying. Like when your teeth are growing in, it hurts. It's a little painful, but it's really just annoying. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, why are you trying to hide? Why are you trying to hide your hatred? Why are you trying to hide your uncaringness to the world? Why are you trying to hide that? We know that you don't care, and it's just annoying that you keep trying to play this facade. Like, we see your facade, So I was like, and while the world sits on its ass, waits for destruction with glee, while the people talk with large mouths like they're ready to scream, while the chaos grows, but no one knows what all of it means. Like, it's really just, it becomes self-explanatory. It's like, people are still out here. We're still out here clueless. We're still out here following, blindly to the leadership that we have. We're still out here, talking with large fucking mouths who always megalomaniacs want to hear what we all want to say, or what we all, and it just really sucks. And it's sad. And that's what I was talking about in Talking Sheep. While the chaos grows, no one knows what all of this means. Like, coronavirus going around, you know what I'm saying? It's a shame that with it, that all this is happening, but no one understands why it's happening. No one understands what's going on and why this is happening. But it's happening, But even before the corona, like, I wrote this in September of 2019. So before the corona came out, it was just like, with all the stuff that was happening in the world, it was like, no one understands what this means. All this kind of terror and reigning chaos that's really just surrounding us all. No one can, you know what I'm saying? It's like someone who was practicing nihilism or trying to understand nihilists or even trying to look from a nihilist perspective. It was just like, no one can really tell me what's truly going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the answer here? And so that's really where I was, while the people talk with large mouths like ready scream, while the chaos grows and no one knows what all that means. See, they're trying to live their best life, say they're helping low beings. So they're over here, they're lying to you. You know what I'm saying? As far as people are telling you, oh, well, I'm helping people out, I'm giving back. You know what I'm saying? Or they're putting up a front in doing so. You know, we're all just, there's fakeness going on in the world. Fakeness. And like I said, when you're in that negative headspace, you don't see anything positive. All you see is the negativity. There's no hope, there's no love, there's no joy. All there is pain and chaos and sadness and anger and questions that are so unanswered. And you can't, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard to find that. So yeah. Once it's on his ass with frustration with glee. Other people talk with large mouths like they're ready to scream, while the chaos grows and no one knows what all it means. So they're trying to live their best life so help lobbyists. I look around at their disguise and think about how they're being. Say be about it, don't just shout it. Because to me, talk is cheap. So going into that, you know, I was just like, I'm so sick and tired of hearing everybody's doing all this, everybody's talking about it, no one's actually being about it. People are just doing what they feel is good for them and not really caring, just living super selfishly, and which you think that works, but it really doesn't. It doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? You're living a selfish life. You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't care for yourself, but to live so wholeheartedly selfish, it really brings about an evilness that I feel like a lot of people don't really see. You know what I'm saying? When you're all about your needs and you don't necessarily care about anybody else in the world. You know what I'm saying? It kind of brings about a little bit of a sociopathic tendencies that I tend to see in people sometimes. You know, no one truly caring about people in the world. You know, talk is cheap. You know, so I look around at their disguise and I think about how they're being. Like, I look at all this that I see around me, this fakeness, this hatred, this coldness in the world. And I'm like, man, shout, just be about it. Don't just shout it. Because, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, especially when they feel that they, have something, like I said, talk is cheap. You want to talk all about it, but you're not really about it. You're just, ultimately, you're just being fake. So don't just talk about it, be about it. You say you want to overcome, you say you want to do certain things, be about it. This is a message that's meant to tell you guys to be about what you're going to be about. Seriously. Don't just say it. Anyone can say what they want to do. That's how it was for years. I'd say, oh, I'm going to do this, but I wasn't about it. And now I'm moving forward to be about it. And I decided to start with this album. When this album comes out, it'll be one of the biggest accomplishments for me. Because I actually decided to stop just talking about it and be about it. And that's really, honestly, you want to know how you get to success. You want to know how you get to where you want to get. Being about it. Point blank period. That's why I stopped talking. That's why I try not to talk so much. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about it. Because I'm tired of talking. I just want to show you guys where I'm going to get. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not telling you all my ideas. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen or what Volume 2 is going to consist of or stuff like that. You're just going to find out when you're going to find out. But I can tell you one thing, that it'll be dope. It'll be awesome. You're going to love it. You're going to hear it. And you're really going to enjoy it. Seriously. I'm really, really excited for you guys to hear this album. But anyways, now the chorus.
Be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit. Say be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit. Say be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit. Say be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit. Say be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit. Say be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit. Say be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit. Say be about it, don't you shout it. It's to me talking shit.
or the chorus. So be about it, don't just shout it, because to me, talk is cheap. I just pretty much keep repeating that. You know, and the reason why I'm repeating it is I want it to get in your head. You know, talk is cheap. Yes, it was negative, but it's also meant to teach you a lesson. That's what I wanted to do, really. I want to inspire people, and I want to show people love in a way that I don't think that we all really get. And while also saying something, you know, and I want people to look past the words that I speak, as far as the curse words. Look past that. Look past those negative words, because the truth is that this album, the album is the way that it is because it was written from a negative perspective. It was written from a perspective where I really wasn't in a good place. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have anything to say. You know what I'm saying? This whole album, Movie Times Volume 1, it's a lesson. It really is. It's a lesson in itself. You know, you're gaining something, like you're finding out who I am, or finding out who Weirdo is. But you're also gaining knowledge. You know what I'm saying? On things, you know, like this is like when older people, or people of the older generation, tell you, hey, you know, look at what, you know, we've done in our mistakes and learn from those. That's what this album is. This is my mistakes. This is where I was at, or this is where I was thinking. This is where my head was at. You know what I'm saying? So take from this, learn from this, grow from this, be more positive than me, you know, from this. I really hope that you guys enjoy this album, because it's super dope, even though, like I said, even though it comes from a certain negative perspective, at the same time, it's really positive. And I just hope that you guys look beyond the words to get the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Look beyond the words to gain the lesson. That's all I say. And, well, at least look beyond the curse words to gain the lesson. So, I really hope that you guys enjoy this album. That's it for me as far as Desiphering The Talk Is Cheap. And I'm really glad that you guys came and hung out with me. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. My tripod, there's always something. It's always something. But, yeah, check out my single, Talk Is Cheap. My album's coming out this Friday, so I can't wait for you guys to hear it. But as far as Talk Is Cheap, the single is out. Go on Bandcamp and buy my single. It's literally $1. It's $1. Alright? If you can, support, share, and I really hope that you guys check out my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and donate to Patreon. Alright? Much love, guys. W.E.I.R.D.O out.
It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. And I'm glad you know that it's the Weirdo Show. Hope you're ready for acts you've never seen before, cause it's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. It's the Weirdo Show. Coming across for everyone to view on how I do what I do. See the old to the new in the Weirdo Show. Yeah. This is the Weirdo Show. Let's get it.